Hi everyone, I'm Shelby and welcome to my channel, and this video is definitely unique from other videos I have made. I love listening to albums, I love watching performances, but I do just like to talk about music, and I know that they're not my most watched videos, but part of the reason why I started this channel is just because I really do enjoy like ranking music or just talking about music in general without necessarily reacting to something. In this video, I want to talk about music from 2011 because as it happens, time went by and we are now in 2021. And I saw this post on Instagram just super randomly on my Discover page that was like, these songs will be 10 years old this year. And first of all, one, that made me feel so old. Like it was one of those first moments in my life where I was like, oh my gosh, is this what it feels like to feel old? But also, just seeing that post made me realize 2011 was a crazy good year in music. I just feel like we all need to recognize that and remember how awesome of a year in music that was. So this video, I'm gonna go ahead and list 11 albums that came out in 2011. And this is just scratching the surface, mind you. There are so many more singles, like maybe songs that came out in 2010, but they were released as singles in 2011. I'm talking about you, Katy Perry, and like every song from California. What is it called? Teenage Dream. Teenage Dream, that's the name of the album. But yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and list 11 albums that came out in 2011. And this is not in any particular order, but these were just 11 albums that I saw that really stood out, that made me realize like there was literally something for everyone that came out in music that year. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So the first album I'm going to talk about that was released in 2011 was released in the second half of the year in October, and that is Florence and the Machine's Ceremonials. And the song that is most well known from that album is Shake It Out, which is a very popular song that has been played and I still hear around to this day, 10 years later, a literal decade later. So that definitely was an album that a lot of people loved in 2011. Another album I saw that was released in 2011, and I will admit I have not listened to this album, probably not gonna shock a lot of people if you've seen my other videos, and that is Drake's Take Care. Wait, was this the song? Wait, I know this song, Take Care, Drake. Ah, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so Drake's Take Care, I have not listened to the album as a whole, but unsurprisingly, in 2011, not only it did win the Grammy for Best Rap Album, but also the single that I think everyone knows is also the name of the album, and that is Take Care with Rihanna, which Rihanna, huge name, plus Drake. That song, literally, I remember it just taking over, being one of the many songs that I just was hearing constantly in 2011 and so on. So that was definitely a huge album for Drake, and a album so many people adored. And kind of in the same Canada wheelhouse, I'm gonna include this now because I have listened to this one and I've listened to it on YouTube. I'll leave a card here. 2011 is when the Weeknd's mixtape House of Balloons was released. I know, that's not something I would have known until I reacted to it on YouTube. But yeah, so House of Balloons was released, so that was huge for him. 2011 was kind of a year where The Weeknd was starting to really gain a following and really gain popularity. And also in 2011, we're going to talk about another mixtape really quickly. Frank Ocean also released music in 2011, and Frank Ocean rarely releases music anymore. So the fact that you had The Weeknd, Drake, and Frank Ocean all releasing music. Oh wait, I haven't even talked about another album yet, but let's just say it was a very big year in music. I already have said that, and I haven't even gotten to the pop queens yet that released things in 2011, but oh my gosh. Nostalgia Ultra was the first, it was the debut mixtape by Frank Ocean, and I can assume a lot of people love it. I have not heard it yet because then Channel Orange came in 2012. And just in case, because I get a lot of requests about me listening to Channel Orange, I do have an album reaction to Blonde. Another card will go here to check it out. But Channel Orange, I have tried uploading that video twice on YouTube and it has gotten blocked each time. And I actually am obsessed with that album since having listened to it. I think it might be my favorite album I've reacted to for YouTube yet, to be totally honest. And yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy Channel Orange. But yeah, this was the debut year for Frank Ocean. So Frank Ocean and The Weeknd both were like kind of presenting themselves in 2011 and showing the world what they were capable of musically, and clearly people were very into it. More from the indie scene of music that was released in 2011 that was very well loved was Boney Bear's album, self-titled album, Boney Bear. That was his second studio album, and obviously Boney Bear is still very popular to this day. So if we're talking 10 years later, that was his second studio album. Clearly it did the job, and it did the job well. And he is still popping on the music scene and was just on Taylor Swift's latest album, for example. So yeah. Just yet another example of how really there was good music for literally everyone, no matter what your music taste was, that was released in 2011. Let's just all go back in time for a little bit and like experience this music again. That'd be great. All right, now let's talk about some of the ladies in the music industry that released music in 2011. And this was, I think, possibly just like a very big year for some very big names for women in music. Let's start with Beyonce. Beyonce released the album 4 in 2011, and from that album came probably the song of hers that makes me feel so good, that I love to listen to, and that is Love on Top. Ugh, I don't know what it is about it. It's the beat. It's the beat. She's like, bring the beat in. And it's, oh, the beat on Love on Top and how she just really gets it as the song goes on. Amazing. And also, I'm pretty sure that was the song she performed at an award show to announce to the world that she was pregnant. And I thought that that was so genius as well. And then also Love on Top has the song Who Run the World, Girls, which for the past decade has literally been a line that people still say. So clearly it stood the test of time. Popularity-wise, the album that I think really dominated from a critic's perspective and awards perspective from 2011 was definitely Adele's 21. Adele's 21 is one of those albums that I think truly, it would definitely be on a list that would like define the decade of 2010 to 2019. It was stupidly popular, so popular. And, you know, and I actually kind of love how popular that was, especially in what the music climate was then and even to this day. I mean, that album, it was just very raw vocals, very sad, and very just focused on the melody of the songs, even though the content of the songs was quite literally just all very depressing. I mean, let's just think about it right off the bat. Rumor has it, Rolling in the Deep, Set Fire to the Rain. Yes, people. Oh, and then of course, Someone Like You. It had so many singles that were just beyond popular, still get played to this day. And critically, critics couldn't get enough of this album. She won, I'm reading off my phone, she won at the Grammys Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Short Form Music Video for Rolling in the Deep, and Best Pop Solo Performance for Someone Like You. She literally like went crazy at the Grammys with this album. So this was definitely like the album of 2011. The pop music scene in 2011 was also just so great in the female world of pop stars because Katy Perry's Teenage Dream came out the year before. So, and she had like 8 singles off that album. So those singles were still being released in 2011, like Last Friday Night, E.T. But I can't include that album since it's released in 2010. But you know what did come out in 2011? That was right there with Teenage Dream. That is literally like iconic Gaga. Born This Way by Lady Gaga came out in 2011, and that is by far her most, I would say probably her most loved album by her fans. And also the song Born This Way, I mean, that album was single after single as well. Born This Way, it's just the ultimate anthem for being who you are and individuality, and it is just such a pump up, feel good song that is so well executed. You and I, absolutely fabulous. The Edge of Glory was my jam from that. The saxophone is great in that song, absolutely love it. But yeah, Born This Way was iconic Gaga. It was like the most Lady Gaga could possibly be, I feel like, on that album. And I love her other albums. Like Joanne, love it. Chromatica, love it. But Born This Way, something about Born This Way Gaga was just perfect. And I mean, oh man, radio was so good in 2011, like pop radio, because not only were you hearing Lady Gaga and then the stuff from Katy Perry's 2010 album. Oh, and of course Adele, Beyonce. You're hearing all these people. You're hearing some Drake. But also, you heard this in 2011. And this song was like, oh, I was obsessed. Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday came out in 2011. Are you guys catching on to just how many insane albums came out this year? And what comes with Pink Friday? Super bass. I had never been so obsessed with a song so quickly. Super bass, everything about it was just hitting the spot for me. I remember that very distinctly being my song of the summer in 2011. I just felt like it was so bright and colorful, and I love Nicki Minaj's style of rapping. I think she's a very talented rapper, and people loved trying to learn the rap to it and learning the lyrics, but it's like absolutely no one could do the delivery in the way that she can. To this day, if it randomly comes up on shuffle or on one of my many playlists, I do not skip it. Other songs I loved from Pink Friday, obviously Moment for Life was on there, but I listened to Roman's Revenge so much. Wow, I totally forgot about that song. I'm for sure gonna re-listen to that song when I am done filming this video now. Yeah, so Pink Friday, Nicki Minaj, amazing. The last 2 albums I'm gonna talk about from 2011 were 2 albums as a whole that I definitely listened to the most, I would say, of the ones. And so the first one is probably still my favorite Coldplay album, and that is Milo Zyloto. Came out in 2011. Milo Zyloto was like a beautiful combination of old Coldplay and kind of newer Coldplay, but it was done in a very beautiful, whimsical kind of way. It was just right. It was hitting all the right things for me, musically and lyrically. Songs from Milo Zyloto, I mean, Paradise was huge. Every Teardrop Was a Waterfall was huge. I also liked Charlie Brown a lot. Princess of China with Rihanna. I just think that song was so cool sounding because the music of it in the chorus, it kind of sounds very harsh, but it just worked so well with the lyrics. And I would never think to hear Rihanna on a Coldplay song, but it worked out very well. Very, very well. Oh my gosh, speaking of Rihanna, I guess I'm gonna just quickly randomly throw this one in here. She also had an album come out, but it was towards the end of 2011, which is why I forgot about it. And it was Talk That Talk came out. Oh, Where Have You Been was, We Found Love was on that album. Oh my gosh. Gosh, you want to talk about a song that was beyond popular. So we're gonna just forget everything. I'm adding in another album. And on top of that, she was featured on so many songs that year. Rihanna was everywhere in 2011. And then finally, the last album that I listened to a lot that came out in 2011. I was on a Kanye West kick because of 2010's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which, gosh, that is like probably my favorite Kanye West album that I've listened to as a whole for a variety of different reasons. But since I was on the high of that album, then in 2011 it came out Watch the Throne, which was both Kanye West and Jay-Z. A whole album with those two together. It was huge. People loved it. My favorite songs from Watch the Throne then and still are my favorite were No Church in the Wild, which also has Frank Ocean in it, No Church in the Wild, Who Gon' Stop Me, and Made in America. Ugh, Made in America is so good. And Frank Ocean singing the chorus, it's perfect. It's perfect. Oh, I mean, why not? Why not have Frank Ocean release a mixtape and also be featured on Kanye and Jay-Z's album that came out in 2011? I don't know, because he was just freaking exploding onto the music scene. Yeah, Watch the Throne was incredible. And I'm not someone who listens to a ton of rap. Honestly, Kanye West is probably the rap artist that I have listened to the most, but it was so good that even if you weren't someone who listened to rap regularly, you could definitely enjoy that album. In general, so much music came out in 2011 and it was all really good, and it was in all different areas and all different types of music, different genres and everything. So yeah, I just was really reminiscent on how awesome music was in 2011. And what's crazy is that I think part of the reason why I wanted to make this video was because when I think about these songs or these albums that I mentioned, in my brain, it does not click that they are literally a decade old or turning a decade old this year. It just feels like these songs are still present day. I just don't even think about the fact that they've been around for as long as they have. And I feel like a lot of people have said things similar before, like, whoa, like early 2010s music was truly just like so great. And it really was. Let me know in the comments what albums or songs that came out in 2011 that you love most. And I know there were more albums I could have included on this list for sure. So if there are albums that you also loved in 2011 that I didn't mention, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for watching, especially if you made it until the end of this video. And until next time, bye.